must know everything. Look at that. It's light. It's a parachute. Is this yours?
Actually, it belongs to Harry.
Oh, good old Harry. Yeah, he didn't. What, did he forget to pull the cord, or he's not here, Harry?
Well, he's not here yet, I guess.
John Vincent.
That's me.
You jumped off the World Trade Center.
Well, we all make mistakes in our past, you know.
This is called base jumping. B.A.S.E. is the acronym. It's base, B for bridge.
Building.
Building, sorry.
Antenna. Span, as in a bridge, or earth for cliffs.
So this is parachuting in every way except out of an airplane.
Exactly.
You're from fixed places.
Yeah, the correct term is fixed object jumping. That's what we, you know, base jumping is pretty much covers us all, but we're pretty much into fixed object jumping, jumping off of things that'll stand still long enough for us to get on them.
Right. We have a videotape of this guy with his girlfriend.
Wife now.
His wife now. We'll straighten that out. He takes the thing up to the top of the tallest building in the world and goes. What do you want to do? What should we do with him? You want to put him in jail? No. Well,
Thank you. Thank you.
You're lucky. You're lucky, John.
I wish I could have had a jury.
How long it took in the planning to do that back when he was...
This was a big deal, huh?
Yeah, it took about, you know, a year and a half of actually total planning. Yeah. You know, I tried it first time, it didn't work out. I had to, you know, contact Dennis, help me out here, but
right.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
What was the year? When did you do this?
1991, May 6th.
May 6th, 1991. Don't tell them if you were arrested.
5:40 in the afternoon.
All right, don't tell them. Don't tell them about the end. All right, let's go. Let's do this. You ready? We're going to the top of the tallest man-made structure in the history of the universe. I speak of the World Trade Center. Here we go, Brian. Look at this dude. All right, here. That's a parachute on his back. You'd hardly notice it. I can't get over how thin that is.
It's underneath the jacket.
Yeah.
It was mail order, too.
Right. This is going to take you longer to get up than it did to get down. Now, obviously, the camera's hidden, too, right?
They're pretending to be tourists.
I see. Look at, she's saying goodbye.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was actually a cameraman's girlfriend who has helped me get into the building.
Oh, I see. Oh, this is not your girlfriend.
This is not my wife here.
All right. Now look at this. Here are the tourists who come to New York to go on top. You got Windows on the World up there, the big restaurant. Now we're on top of the observation deck. And here's just a basic tourist strolling along the walkway there. Now watch what happens here. Incidentally, if you care, this is illegal. What are the gloves for?
There's an electric fence we have to climb over.
Really?
Razor wire, concertina wire down the top.
Right. Now, where's your parachute? Underneath your jacket?
It's underneath my shirt.
Your sweatshirt, yeah.
I just peel it off, and it's right there, ready to go.
Uh-huh. What is the height of the World Trade Center?
1,352 feet.
Okay. Now, watch this. Look at this little kid saying, what? You know? Look at this. Listen to him yelling at him. They think it's a suicide.
Yeah, there was people, these girls were saying, don't do it, don't do it. And they started screaming and crying when I did it.
Look. Hey. Now what? That's the window cleaning apparatus there.
Yeah.
You were out of control, John.
Look at this. That's the wind test, wind direction. Yeah, it's just right.
No.
Yeah. Now, in a moment, he stops here in just a second. He has to go to the bathroom, so we start over again.
Listen. He's up on top. Listen to what I say. Please, Lord, forgive me for all my sins.
Yeah. Watch this. Watch the farewell kiss here. Oh, that's cool. See you later. Oh, my. Whoa! Hang on here. Hold it. Hold it. Freeze it. Freeze it. You're applauding. You don't even know what happened. Somebody. Yeah, it's true. He's here. 5 in the afternoon, huh?
About 5:30.
Summer day.
Rush hour.
Okay, and you want this audience to know you're not crazy.
No, it's a very researched sport. We're really trying to get away from the illegal jumps because I'd spent 3 months in the penitentiary. It's no fun. I mean, penitentiary for this stuff. It's
parachute.
Yeah, for parachuting. It's a sport, you know, a love for the adrenaline.
Yeah.
We're trying to get onto the, you know, get away from the buildings and all the cops and hassles. We want to go to national parks and do it legally off cliffs is what we're looking for.
And the cliffs from which you would be likely to jump are all located in national parks, is that right?
Not all.
Most. The good ones.
The best ones.
You are Dennis McGlynn. Incidentally, we will show you the end of this jump. Wait till you see it when he lands in Battery Park. The officer, you know, gave him a parking ticket. Or, I'm not sure. You'll see that. We will show you that in just a moment. Mr. McGlynn, sir, you're from Sacramento, Colorado. You own Gravity Sports Limited. What else would you want to call?
Sacramento, California.
What did I say?
Colorado.
Sorry. You've made 3,000 jumps.
3,000 skydives and about 500 fixed object jumps.
Base jumps, as you
Base
call them. Let's talk about some of the, first of all, what is terminal velocity of the human body as it descends at 32 feet per second
172 feet a second.
172
That's
feet a
120
second.
miles an hour.
Yeah.
And it takes about 12 seconds to reach that terminal velocity.
Uh-huh.
And you start falling faster every second up until about 12 seconds. The first 4 seconds are the real, that's when you're not moving as fast. After 4 seconds, you're really moving and picking up, and after about 4 seconds, you're close to 100 miles an hour.
Well, before this program is over, we are going to see, actually witness, jumps from the arch in St. Louis, the inside of the New Orleans Superdome.
Yeah.
So that would be the first jump from inside a building.
Yeah, it's actually, let me quote you, the actual indoor free fall, because there's been a couple jumps performed by Phil Smith in Houston. He jumped the Astrodome in Houston, and he did do the Superdome all legally, but it's with a static line type system where as soon as you jump, it pulls a chute out instantaneously, so you've got an open canopy within 30 feet or so. What I do a free fall. You're holding a pilot chute. As soon as you jump, we do maybe about a 1 second free fall, depending on how low you want to get, and you've got an open canopy at about 100 feet off the floor, so you got about a 5 second parachute ride, stand-up landing.
Whoa. So in other words, in the jumps, many of the jumps that you do, you have to deploy the chute before you're at terminal velocity.
Oh yeah, as soon as if we're on a low object, a low cliff or something, maybe the lowest free fall I did was actually 220 feet. That's inside the Superdome.
Right. Can you back that up just to where he's in the window washing grid there? Because I want him to. When you jumped here, you had a little bag in your hand.
That's a pilot chute. It's a small parachute, about 25 inches in diameter to 44 inches in diameter, depending on how low you're going, how quick you want your chute to open.
Show him, Brian. Here it is. They in your right hand.
Yeah, it's a small parachute that actually pulls the main parachute out of the back in the container.
Yeah, and the reason you do that instead of just deploying?
Usually that is deploying, but in a normal skydive, that would be packed in a little pocket, so you're not holding on to it. But if you're only doing a 3 second free fall, you have it and holding it in your hand.
Now, do you leave go of this right away? Well, leave go of it. You haven't let go. Yes, you did.
I did about a 2 or 3 second free fall before I let go of it.
And
that's a high enough building. You see, that was only my 5th base jump. I really didn't know a whole lot what I was, I called him. I called him. Wait a minute, hear me out. I'm a very experienced skydiver. I have, pilot's license and all that, but I don't have all that experience back then base jumping, so I had to contact Mr. McGlynn here through the mail, and he sent me the parachute and told me more or less how to handle it, and I did perfect. Landed there in perfect opening, which I have him to thank for, but that was, a couple of years ago. Now I've got almost 400 base jumps. I pack all my own gear and, teach other people. But.
A long time ago, I interviewed Jumpin' Joe Kittinger, an Air Force officer. Do you know about him?
Oh.
Yeah, he's your hero, isn't he?
Highest free fall.
He went up in a balloon, as you know, over 100,000 feet. It was 101 or 103
or something. He broke the sound barrier in free fall.
Right.
That's how he did in the areas.
Yeah, and of course he had to have the helmet
and everything.
Oh man, I'll never forget this. I mean, I was 24 years old, and my eyes were, and I got to meet this guy, and so we got the film of the jump. All right, 102,000 feet. He lands, gets up, tips his hat, and they take him. What's the minimum you can jump? I assume there are records.
With or without a parachute?
Well, come on, with a parachute. Now you're the equipment guy, so he
builds everything.
It kind of
just round numbers. We won't hold you.
A parachute, you can jump off of a 50-foot cliff and have a parachute before you landed over water. Your landing might be kind of hard Jump over land, it's good to have at least 150 feet.
I've done 140 feet off the road surface of a bridge. I had like a 2-second parachute ride, and I landed standing up, but it gets scary when you're over hard ground. You know,
I'll say it does. So you've never busted an ankle or wrecked a knee? And how old are you?
I'm 27.
You are, huh?
Started skydiving when I was 16, so it's, you know,
Yeah.
10 years
Did
experience.
are your parents living?
No, my father is.
Did he know you were going to do this on top of the World Trade Center?
Oh, yeah. He supports me. He skydived when he was in college and that, and he supports me in this, what I do. He helps me out. He helps me out. He helps me out with legal issues, because I don't want to do this illegally. You know, I want to, you know.
I know you do. You're a
get
good
on the
boy.
level with all this,
Right.
so he helps me out.
Right. Well, let's understand a couple things. While it may be true that there are some places that you can jump off the earth that are not in a national park, most of them are. There's also a bridge. Is it in Virginia or West Virginia?
West Virginia.
It's in West Virginia. The New River Gorge?
Yes, that's
New
it.
River Gorge, 800 plus feet?
876.
Yeah. Once a year, they allow how many hours?
6 hours.
6 hours a
6
year.
hours of legal jumping.
A year.
And how many people will go off that bridge during the 6-hour legal jump?
500.
About 800 jumps.
500, 800 parachute jumps. We've made 5 jumps in one day there, both of us. And it's the only time when the Rangers say, okay, boys, go play. Here's your 6 hours. You get to play your sport for the whole entire year. You're tax-paying citizens, but we're only giving you 6 hours to go play. You know, and we're able to organize these 500 jumpers. There's 250,000 spectators all around. This is a major nightmare.
Yeah.
We're doing all this. We do this without anyone getting you know, seriously hurt or killed, but they're saying we're not responsible enough to organize our own group in the national park. I mean, that's total ludicrosy.
It's our convention, exchange
Yeah.
of information there.
Yeah. John Vincent, Dennis McGlynn. McGlynn is the equipment guy, as well as a jumper. And what do you call this chute, you know, where you go by? It says
These are Ram Air parachutes.
Ram Air.
Yeah, we pretty much, no one uses round parachutes anymore. These are gliding parachutes that have a forward speed. So we're able to, we could get out over a parking lot and
Yeah.
land on any single car you wanted us to. I mean, we
Was
have
it
very good
hard to hit
accuracy.
Battery Park on your way
No,
down? No.
It's easy.
Yeah, but you got uncertain winds, don't you, with that building
Yeah, you
there?
can see, I mean, there was some turbulence coming up. That's what gets gnarly
Right.
when you're in between buildings. And
Well,
wind
we'll
starts
meet
blowing.
you. We'll meet you as you land. Can't wait to see if any of New York's finest are there awaiting your
Notice I'm
arrival.
wearing a peace symbol, so nobody thinks I'm a
You,
crazy terrorist.
Let me just
I love
say,
the city.
on this program, you will see jumps from the Superdome in New Orleans. You'll see people diving off Earth. That is a cliff, right off the cliff.
Cliffs are the best. They're
And
legal.
for those watching in Heartland, we are pleased to say that the gateway to the West, the St. Louis Arch, is also featured on our program. Who goes off that? You?
I do, yes.
You do, yeah.
Thank you again to St. Louis. We had a problem there with the federal guys because it was a national park.
Yeah. And incidentally, what in the world occasioned John Vincent doing 3 months in a federal penitentiary? Was it the New York jump? We'll tell you when we come back in just a moment. Where's that?
Central Oregon.
That's Central Oregon?
Central Oregon.
What more specifically? For
Bend State Park.
one of the and that's, I assume, a national park.
No, it's a state park.
Okay.
And that's legal.
Oh, those were legal
That
jumps.
was legal. It wasn't illegal.
All right. When we last saw John Vincent, he was in midair. Let's take it now. You've just jumped from the World Trade Center. And here you come right into Battery Park. Watch it there. Kaboom. Look at that landing. Well done. You better hustle now, because I'm telling you, these New York cops, man, they'll beat you in a foot race. You better hurry up. Now, you'll see it. Look at this woman. She can't believe what she's seeing here. Oh, man, you better run, dude. Hurry up. I can hear the sirens. Hear them? Oh, man, they're coming after you. Come on, get it in there, brother. Hurry up. Yeah. You bet. He's not going to make it. They're coming down on you, baby. They know right where you landed. Look at those kids standing there. Yeah. Go! Get in the car!
Waiting on the photographer.
Relax, bro.
Relax.
I'm glad the car started. Come on. Come on. Move it, brother. Move it. They're coming after you. Did you get away?
Yeah.
Smile, John.
So no action at all. Then you did the tallest building in the world, and there were no charges.
Well, second tallest, but no charges.
Oh, that's right. The Sears is taller.
Yeah. No problem.
Well, it may be a problem for
tall enough.
my diminishing circle of friends in Chicago. Will want this corrected for the record. The World Trade Center is the second tallest.
Yes.
Not by much, but yes,
100
indeed.
feet.
Sears
100
is.
feet.
Yeah. You did the Superdome.
Yeah.
Did you do it in the middle of an event with several thousand people?
No, then again, this is a few years ago when I was doing a lot of illegal jumps. And I'm really
Not to be
seriously-
confused with now.
Yeah. No, and I'm just trying to get into more legalized jumping and that, but they had a monster truck show they were setting up for, and it was the day before the show. The whole floor was cleared out. They were just starting to lay a little bit of dirt there, and nobody in there. And they had some stunt guy getting ready to do some kind of jump into an airbag, and that radio station was talking about it. So I'm like, going up to the back door with my bag with 2 rigs in. And say, yeah, I'm Jeff Johnson, CKW. Yeah, we got to get in there, check out the lights and all that. And like, oh, okay, here, sign this and this, and here's your security pass. And I just walked right in. I'm like, whoa, all right. Okay, we need to get up there. He's like, okay, right up those stairs. I'm like, all right. So I just walked in and did it, and I did it 3 times before they figured, like landing, packing up, looking around. Everyone's like, cool, man, all right. And, so I pack up, and by the 3rd time, the promoter didn't believe me anymore that I was part of the show because he couldn't get a hold of the guy that set at the radio station.
Yeah, but even the promoter, you know, promoters are slow, but after a
about
while.
where we're going to fit it into the show, and I did it 3 times and walked on out of there. So the funny part was it was raining outside,
Right.
so it's like
What would be this distance then?
220 feet.
So this is down to minimum, certainly.
Yeah, this is the minimum free fall.
Uh-huh. So do you count 1,000, 1,000 too?
No, you look and throw when you're scared.
You know, it was right
Yeah.
away, kaboom.
Yeah, it was like a half-second
But
free
you have
fall.
no speed.
I know,
So
you're
your
falling.
thing's going to be
That's-
limp, and you're going to fall right on your...
No, it opens and pressurizes, and you've got about 5 seconds of good parachute time to control yourself and land.
From inside the New Orleans Superdome, here he is, the man with the... Boy, talk about con man. I mean, he got by several people. Yeah, go ahead, pal. Here he is, inside the building, 200-plus feet. Go get him, Brother John. There you go.
Something about those low free falls.
Look at that. Look at, watch now. He'll be on the ground in 1 second, right?
A lot of
Now.
No.
Mm-hmm. Well, you had to have 2 guys. You had a camera guy up there.
Yeah, I had a friend shooting some video, 3 angles. Got
Okay.
video of each different jump.
John, you're not going to get rich doing this, are you? Or are you? I mean,
did it
Evel
just for
Knievel,
fun.
you're
No,
not.
No, I'm not some, people think you're, thrill seeker, you're death wish and all this. This is just what I do in my spare time. It's a lot of fun. Skydiving instructor, jump master and all that.
Right.
It's just a lot of fun. And I want to pursue more legal angles of it. Because, jail sucks, and I mean, jumping off of cliffs is a lot more exciting. It's more visual.
You're Mary Vincent, and you are the wife of John Vincent. You were his girlfriend when he did the World Trade Center.
No.
No, I was not. I met John a year ago.
You weren't
And,
there for the excitement of the World Trade Center?
I hadn't met her yet.
No, I wasn't. I
met
went
her
out on
about a
my
year
first
and a half ago.
skydive and met John. He was my video person.
Ah.
So from there we started dating, and he described to me what he does as a sport besides skydiving, and it was very interesting to me. However, I was, I couldn't believe that people did that. And so I got plenty of experience skydiving before I tried my first jump.
I want
and
you
I
to
only have 1 base jump that was legal.
Yeah, and you were terrified.
Yes, I was, and I preferred to stick to the legal jumps also because I really don't want the hassles that they've all experienced in the past.
I want you to tell us about that jump, and I'll give you an opportunity to do that in just a moment. Let me identify Brenda Oldfield. You are Dennis's girlfriend. You've been skydiving now for, you guys have been an item then for 6 years? Mm-hmm. You never were a guy to rush into things, were you?
Never.
No. 1,500 skydives from an airplane as in the old-fashioned way, and 120 base jumps.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Your most exciting base jump was?
Probably we did a world record exhibition jump at the bridge this year. It was an 8-way. And
When you
I was
say
on
bridge, the New River
the New
Gorge.
River Gorge Bridge, we took 8 of us. In fact, the 3 of us were on it and some more people, and we all 8 jumped off at the same time.
Yeah,
And
it's
it
the
was
largest
very,
formation,
very exciting.
Large number of people jumping
It was
at
a
one
world
time.
record. And
A world record for
Yeah,
this kind of
jumping.
jumping.
Deployment exhibition.
And you can't all open at once either, can
no,
you?
we had it very, very planned out. So all
Because
the
you'll
parachutes-
snag somebody else.
Right, stage
So all the
deployment all the
yeah,
way
it was
down.
very staged, and all the parachutes opened at different levels, and it was.
Do you open by sight or do you open by counting?
By sight.
by
we key
sight
off
off
other
each
people. As
other.
soon as I see my key man opening, you deploy, and then the guy's keying off you, so it's like bam, bam, bam,
very
bam, bam,
precise,
bam, all the
very
way down
precise
to the last
procedure.
guy open.
Yeah.
We
And
can
if-
take 10 off if we want.
You know, and if you look up and the guy's going, well, you know, that's
Bro, you got about 8 other people waiting on you, so you
don't have
better do
there's
it.
a very small
Yeah.
margin of error here.
Very small.
Okay, we'll see these jumps and other base jumps, that is to say, from fixed objects on the Earth, either man-made or natural, when we come back in a moment. Where are we, friends?
Arizona. That's the
West
bridge in West Virginia.
That's Arizona,
Yeah.
and then the West Virginia Bridge. You want to re-rack that, and we'll take another look at that, so just because some of the folks along the loop may not have been able to see it. That is fascinating, yes.
I just have a comment. I think I give you a lot of credit for having the courage to do something like that, but what you did at the World Trade Center when there are children standing around and they're witnessing that, they don't know when you hit the ground that you're okay. And if I had a child, I don't think I would like my child to be present to see somebody jump off a building and not know what happened to that person. Now, my child's traumatized. I have to deal with that when I leave. So, I mean, that's fine.
There was the time of day that we did it was during, it wasn't a Saturday or Sunday when there are going to be a whole lot of crowds up there, for one. And there was very minimal people up there, and the people that were up there, all of our cameramen told them what was all going on and what was happening, so no one left that day traumatized. Most people were, you know, excited and cheered about it.
And in your world, in your ideal world, there would be legitimate legal jumping from a place like the World Trade Center for a certain, no, you don't want to ever have that legal.
Well,
I mean, that would solve this problem.
It never would.
You don't think it'd happen?
I mean, cliffs are one thing, you know, cliffs are what we're trying to go for.
But buildings are something else.
Yeah, buildings are
Man-made object.
privately owned. We'll never
Hang on one time. Just
legally
want to
do
show that tape again. Let's take a look. Identify these locations, if you will. Where are we here?
We're just out in the middle of the desert, and these are a few of several hundred cliffs we got.
Whoa, look at this. See, right away that chute deploys. Look at this.
Several hundreds of those out there.
Yeah.
It's,
We just want the right to be able to do those legally without prosecution.
Adam Filippino, you're from Northern California, 3,300 dives, 320 base jumps, the issue about which we speak. You'd like to get this legal, wouldn't you?
Certainly, yeah. I'd like to stress it's not illegal as we speak.
Yeah. You mean in a national park?
The national parks have a prohibition, yeah, but
Well, my understanding is that national parks have said it's legal, but you have to have a permit. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Well, that's a long way of saying they don't like you even a little
permits
bit.
that aren't issued, so
Exactly.
it's disallowed.
Right. There's a hostility, is there not, towards you folks from the feds, from Smokey the Bear? And all
towards us from a generation gone by. 15 years ago is when this war started, and that was before any of us even thought about making a jump. And
Right. How are you different from that generation then?
The sport's come a long ways from back then. You know, skydiving was still being evolved, and base jumping was just brand new and in infancy.
Right.
And just as it started, say, in 78, they had a trial period in 79, and they shut it down in 6 weeks because the skydivers that were involved were breaking every rule that was given to them and asked of them. And they shut it down in 6 weeks, and we've never had another chance since then.
Harry, Harry Parker, you jump, do you?
Yes, I do.
And you'd like to see cliff jumping legal.
Yes, I believe that's a natural avenue. Cliff jumping per se base jumping per se is not illegal. And I use the term base jumping loosely because I believe it's fixed object jumping. We find high places and jump from them. The only thing that is illegal really with base jumping is that getting onto other people's property,
private property,
is quasi. The real where we can really turn this thing into a sport and where it's a natural occurrence is to the cliffs. It's public land and it's a sport. And I think that's where we're headed is to go to the cliffs.
Let's go back to John Vincent now. Let's go to St. Louis. Can we see this? He's going up the outside of the arch with suction shoes or whatever you call them. And he's going to jump off the arch. I mean, you know, because it's there.
There he goes.
Not a whole lot of time there either, dude. You really must have been. Now, what's not so funny, the St. Louis police get your cameraman?
Yeah, I got away, made it back to New Orleans, but my cameraman, just friends of mine I had talked into video the jump, they were arrested by park rangers. And the camera's seized, and so they didn't know what to do. I couldn't leave these guys hanging, so I flew back into St. Louis, turned myself in, you know, because I didn't want to leave my friends hanging like that.
Well, that's very, very big of you.
I turned myself in, and then, you know, they're trying to, the federal guys were just trying to turn it around so bad. They denied me a trial by jury because they knew everyone out there would see this how it is.
Well, this audience applauded, this outlaw audience here. This liberal New York audience is giving you all the encouragement. Well, hey, I want you to tell me about,
Yes, I would like to know if there have been any fatalities with this base jumping, and is it made legal in individual states?
Dennis, you guys want?
No,
Yes.
You take that one.
It's not illegal in any specific states. It's still, the book's still being written on it because the sport's so new. There have been fatalities since it started back in the late 70s. And each fatality is, we learned from that and went on, and that's how the sport evolved and got, you know, high tech. And today when people are getting killed, if that happens, it's been a while since we've lost anybody, but it's like motorcycle riding or anything else. You know, things are gonna happen. And you can't control everything or anybody or everyone.
Yeah.
And things happen, but
Calculated risk for us. It's,
right.
It's
Very
not,
calculated.
But I want to know about this. So they wouldn't let you have a jury. And what was the charge?
Climbing a national monument without a permit and jumping from a national monument without a permit.
There's a law.
Well, they pulled it out of some big book they had back in there, and it's a petty offense. And
how much time did you do?
3 months. I was actually given a $1,000 fine, a year probation. They revoked my probation, said I had a bad attitude, and gave me 3 months in the penitentiary.
Were you a smartass in court?
No, not at all. I was very cordial in court.
they denied us the right
They
to
denied me a
make
trial
money.
by jury. What the problem was, where it arose from, was my probation officer, I had a deal to go back to St. Louis for some big guy's Halloween party. They denied me travel. They didn't want me capitalizing on the fact I jumped the arch. So I just told my probation officer off, and she revoked my probation.
Oh, I see. This was after you got probation.
Yeah.
You mouthed off to a probation officer.
Yeah, and
you must have been one surprised dude.
No.
No,
well, you're asking for it. I mean, why fool around?
No, I wasn't. They were okay.
You thought it was a hassle, overdone, and they were.
Exactly.
So where'd you do your time?
In MCGLYNN Air Force Base, federal prison camp in Florida.
North Florida. That's up by the Panhandle.
In the Panhandle.
Yeah.
It's all the guys in MCGLYNN. Right on.
Yeah. What? This is. Yeah. Hey guys, how you doing? Huh? We're very big in this institution. You know, they never miss us in this institution.
Yeah.
It was a very nice place, very immaculate.
We had tennis courts, beach volleyball, no fences. I mean, it was a country club.
I visited him.
Yeah, it was a country club there. But, I mean, it's no fun when you can't leave, but...
Did it teach you a lesson?
Oh, yeah, it taught me a lesson. I don't want to do illegal things. I want to jump legalized cliffs. That's what we're here for. We want to... all the rangers are trying to screw us over, saying, you know, you need a permit, we're never going to give it to you, doing the Catch-22 thing, but, you know, we want to broadcast to the world that we want to make this.
We're not out there to break the law, we're out there to...
Positive.
Yes,
It's exciting.
we should say that there are attorneys at law in the audience who represent a couple of you folks here on the stage. I wonder why. There are some outstanding charges here. Yes, this is dangerous. Yes, people do die, and we'll talk about that. This is fixed-base jumping from man-made or high earthen places on our beloved planet, and we'll be back in a moment. What is this?
PRIX Day.
PRIX Day.
West Virginia.
Oh man, is that gorgeous. Look at that.
Those are all legal jumps.
Look at that. That's the New River Gorge in West Virginia. 800 feet?
876.
876. Can you see the trees going by? It's going to fall in.
If you see the trees, you're in trouble. If they're actually going by you, you're about to land.
That's true. That would be a true thing. Well, you got the side of the rock.
Yeah, and you do see those. That adds to the visual image.
Yeah. You don't see anybody in the building of the office of building of the World Trade Center.
Yeah, and they see
On your way down, in a free fall, you got some secretary saying, "Hey, dude, how's it going?"
No, it's very controlled. You know where you're at.
It's very controlled. You know where you're at, and you use those 2 or 3 seconds that you're in free fall. You know, sometimes you focus on something, especially at jumping a building at nighttime. You focus on a lighted office window as you're going by, and just
Senses become very aware.
For a split second, you see someone sitting there at their office, and you're rushing by their window. But they don't see you.
I was just wondering, what legal basis did they have to hold your friend that was videotaping you jumping off the monument?
He was being charged with commercial photography in a national park without a permit.
Couldn't he just simply say he was a tourist? Like, just happened to caught you jumping
They're getting
on?
so petty about this stuff. I mean, could you imagine what would it have been if Rodney King, the guy who was videotaping the Rodney King beating, if the cops would have got onto that and, you know, seized that would have never came about, you know?
Well, now,
Well, okay,
little
that's different, but all right. You know what I mean.
Let's also at least respect the question asked by the young woman in the back there. You know, you want just, hey, y'all come, jump off, you know, hey, you want my window, go ahead. How many people, for example, would be willing to go off the St. Louis Arch if it were legal? I mean, wouldn't it be a disturbance? And then who's going to pay for picking up the bodies?
For the most part, we don't want it to be a spectacle anymore. John, he's been an outlaw, and he admits that, but we're trying to get away from that. We don't really want to be a spectacle. In the national park system, we can go out there and we can get lost out there and enjoy the cliffs. And
Dennis, you have been charged with manslaughter? Is that correct to say?
No, you know, although I wasn't even involved with.
Tell us the location of this.
I'll say in the desert. I really don't want to say where it's at.
Well, it's hardly a secret.
I'd love to talk about the facts of the case. I really would, and I can't wait till I get my day to talk about it.
Your attorney at law is Lance Armstrong?
Lance Armstrong.
Is he allowed to speak?
Sure.
We have a dead body here.
There is a dead body, and there's a gentleman who decided to partake in this sport, and something went wrong, and he knew the risks, and he did the preparation, and it resulted in a death.
Mm-hmm. And then why would the constabulary find it important to bring manslaughter charges against Dennis?
That we don't know the question to that, and that's why I advised Dennis not to make any comment on that. There is some type of investigation. We don't know if it involves charges of manslaughter or what it involves. But as you can see from the charges that were, as John has stated, because the sport is so new, they know exactly what to charge people with. So they're charging with any type of thing possible in order to ban and outlaw the conduct.
Yes, you wanted that.
I was going to ask, when you got in trouble, when you had to go to jail, did you know ahead of time, you know, per se, if I did this jump, I would have 3 months in jail?
No.
It's a misdemeanor.
It's a misdemeanor. It's a petty offense.
Let's understand this.
Thrown out of court.
But for the record, you were jailed for insubordination, or your attitude. You mouthed off to your probation officer who didn't want you to go to
it was on a technicality how they actually wrote it off. But yeah, they didn't like my attitude.
We haven't seen. We have a tape of jumping off the earth, off a cliff.
Yes.
And we'll show that to these folks. Incidentally, you had an incident too in Miami, didn't you, at the Miami Grand Prix?
I think back, about 5 years ago.
Yeah, you climbed a radio tower, right?
Yep.
20,000 people watching?
I think so.
And they were probably all saying, "Jump, dude!"
Oh yeah, we had a good time. It was fun.
Well, you'll tell them what happened.
We all do things. We all do things that we regret. And growing up with this sport, we all learn our lessons. And I've learned a lot of lessons. And we're trying to get away from the illegal stuff. We don't want buildings. Yes, we've done the arch, and we're not trying to get the arch legalized or any buildings legalized. We just want to be able to enjoy our national parks in a safe and educated manner is what we want.
We want to be able to jump without being persecuted, and man-made objects, we're tired of getting in trouble.
And we'll be back in just a moment. Where's this?
These are cliffs in somewhere in the western United States.
Somewhere in the Western, that sounds mysterious.
Somewhere in the Western.
Here's some of the equipment these folks have. Obviously, we have the helmeted TV camera, so you get real video in free fall. I was impressed with how thin your suit was, John. Is this what you used going off World Trade Center?
Yeah, something similar like that, a little bit smaller maybe.
It's not really that heavy, is it?
Here, let me help you.
Phil. It'll come out and
check this out.
Let's give Phil a hand here.
Go ahead and take this off. What you're looking at is a one parachute assembly. There you go.
There we go.
Usually, it's in average everyday skydiving from airplanes, you use 2 parachutes. You use your first main parachute, and you have a backup system in an emergency.
Yeah.
Because of the low altitudes that we usually jump from fixed object jumping, we have modified the regular skydiving equipment what sport parachutists use for low altitude jumping. That's what you're looking at, right?
So this would be an example of equipment that I would deploy immediately on liftoff or takeoff or descent.
Whenever you feel like
can take it
opening
up to a skydiving terminal velocity, although it wouldn't be allowed in an airplane because of FAA regulations.
Yeah.
But you could take that up to terminal full speed, or 1 second, like you saw John doing out of the stadium.
You can run off the planet with one of those.
Yeah, just keep going. Almost like hang gliding, only this, all you got going is the sheet behind you, huh?
Yeah, it's a guarantee. With the proper equipment, a monkey can jump off of a cliff and deploy a parachute. That's automatic.
Right.
The skill comes in flying the parachute.
Let me just show them the, this is an earth jump. This is a cliff jump, I think. Where is this, John? Is this you, incidentally?
And I think it's our footage.
It's your footage. We'll talk about it here. Let's see this, Brian.
I'm pretty sure it's ours.
Where are we?
Chamonix, France.
That's it is, John.
That's France?
See, John and I have to travel to Europe to jump legally, and we're going every year from now on because
we go to France to jump. It's legal. We can go to France, Europe, in Norway, cliffs all over the continent of Europe, which are wonderful, just as good as ours, if not better. But they're legal there, so we have to go to another country.
Yeah. You know, if you can bungee jump, why shouldn't you be able to do this?
Because people don't understand our sport yet. It's so new. They don't understand the equipment. It's just become high-tech in the last 4 or 5 years.
What you're looking at is an actual evolution of a sport. As progress in technology advances, new things come out. People begin to push the limits. Race cars go faster, and we've designed something that can open up lower.
Materials change, become more lightweight. Right. I can't get over. This is a parachute?
The gear has really evolved in the last 5 years. Dennis and I own a company, and Adam also owns a company. Adam builds the container that you have on your back and the parachute. Dennis and I build the container and all the accessories that go along with it, and the technology in the last few years is just really...
This is the Ram Air, isn't it?
Yes, it's a Ram
So
Air.
it's like the canopy.
It is not skydiving gear anymore. It is specifically designed for our purposes.
Hang on a minute.
Completely controllable.
Let these young folks have a chance out here. They want to talk.
I have a question. When you guys dive off these buildings, aren't you taking into consideration people on the ground that might be hurt by you landing in the street somewhere?
That's why we're getting away from that area and trying to get into...
But wind changes and all that type of...
What you need to realize is that base jumping has been around for a few years now, actually
15.
many years, and when people are the only reason we're jumping off buildings, antennas, and spans, a lot of other places, they don't want you to be there. When you see somebody see some of these clips of people jumping off of buildings, there's a lot of planning and a lot of consideration that goes into that and other people's feeling and other people's property.
This young man.
If that answers your question.
First of all, I think it's cool. I hope you guys get it legalized, like to go, where you're supposed to go. But what the heck do you do for a living?
Yeah, how do you? You'll answer that question when we come back in just a moment. All right, we're ready to demonstrate this. Look at the thinness of that. Not the body, the thing. Look at that. I would guess this is a backpack. This is going to school. All right. All right. Now show us. You want to show us? You're going to deploy this thing?
Okay.
You tell me when to go.
Normally you'd be holding this in your hand. When you want to open the parachute,
you
throw it away.
All right. Well, you won't work this way, will it?
Hit someone in the eye.
I see. So, So I just go like that?
That inflates.
Yeah.
And it's going to pull on this.
Okay,
Start
you ready?
walking away like gravity's got you.
Here we go. I go.
Okay,
This is fabulous. Look at this. These are the new materials that are now available with high-tech polymer research. And when we get an audience here that we don't like, we just throw this. Man, it solves a lot of problems. Doesn't it feel good?
What you're looking at is state-of-the-art equipment. That canopy right there is designed on a computer by Filippino here. It is a specific original design and aerodynamically designed for base jumping. Okay? Everything in there, the materials and everything have been taken out of the sport of skydiving, but they've been applied to the sport of base jumping or fixed object jumping, and they're specifically designed.
And that's a big point about the sport. It started out as low-altitude skydiving, hence it was somewhat dangerous. We have now taken it to a whole new level.
Yes,
it
you
is
have.
fixed object jumping.
Let's talk just briefly about the potential for real safety contribution with this. Imagine a pilot, flame out, he's dead stick, or worse, you know, his attitude, he's got no lift at all. He could jump out at 150 feet.
And get away with it. Yeah.
Yes, and it does have military uses for sure.
Yeah. And this, so you're proud of this, are you?
I got one thing I'd like to say about skydiving and base jumping. They're so different. You can look at them such as you're not going to take a Harley-Davidson Super Glide to a motocross track. It just won't work.
That's true, you're not.
This gear is very specialized for what we do, and it's evolved over the years.
And what do you must skydive before you base jump. You really should.
Does the man bring home a check at all? Is he feeding you? Is it all right?
John is a deep sea diver as well. He also has his pilot's license and does BMX trick riding. He's involved in so many different things. He's a very interesting person.
So you're making $1.50 then as you make your way through life here?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Doing things I like.
Yeah, and you're never going back to federal prison again?
No.
You know what you're looking at is you're looking at a group of people here who are really taking life on, and they're not just pushing limits, seeking adventure. We've given up the American dream, the white picket fence, the 9-to-5 job, and the great salary to be able to travel around the globe and do what we want to do.
Yeah.
For what's happening here, you're witnessing.
I do, yeah. I'm sorry. But
you're witnessing something that is really advancing, and is you're going to see more of it.
We believe you. We believe you. If the cops are coming, man, you got to know how to do this. Anybody have a question while I'm done? Yes, ma'am. Excuse me. You wanted to ask.
Hi.
Not much time.
I don't have much time. I'm sorry. I'd like to know, anyone on the panel, do you know of someone who has fallen after free diving and lived? There was someone in the paper recently.
Without the chute opening.
There's all kinds of instances like that.
There's been all...
Exactly. Harry, you wanted to say?
Yes, I mentioned before that what you're witnessing is an evolution of the sport. And obviously, because we're on the show right now, you're starting to learn about it. What's happening with us as a group, we've organized an organization called the Cliff Jumpers America Association.
Yeah, you just got it in. That's all the time we're going to have, man. Join me in thanking all these folks.
Thank you very much.